So I've been getting a lot of questions like, what does no todo se cura con Vicks means? And it's like, how do we explain that to people, especially people that don't speak like Spanish and stuff like that? Like, what is the whole point, of no todo se cura con Vicks? Why did we come up with that? What kind of suggestions or how would you explain that to someone?
Well, simple, in our culture, if you are Latina, if you're Dominican, you know that Vicks was a remedy for everything. Vicks was a remedy, preventive care. You put Vicks on anything. Hasta aquí, mira, hasta aquí en los ojos.
No, no,
En
hay
los
alguna gente que
ojos.
hasta en la boca se lo pone.
Insane. Like mommy would tell me, you need to put Vicks on Mateo's feet, even if he is not sick, so that he won't get sick. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Vicks can be great, but there are certain things, certain like deep emotional some traumas that a lot of us have been through growing up, that tú te puedes poner todo el Vicks que tú quieras and eso no le va a hacer nada.
Nada.
Nothing.
En el pecho, I remember getting that Vicks en el pecho. Yo no podía ni respirar. I'm like, en el pecho, en la espalda, por donde quiera, en la cabeza. I'm like, oh my God, I felt burned. Y la lágrima all over. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mateo once, and they put it on his chest, and he goes, Mama, it's ready. Please get up.
I did that. No, but you carry all this, these beliefs, right? Because I'm there doing the same thing to my daughter. Alicia, she'd be like, Mom, is that necessary? El baño, todo Vicks, so she could breathe,
Yeah.
And it does help, but not for everything.
Not for everything. And I think that a lot of times in our community, remedies are great. Like I think Vicks to an extent, it helps us physically. But I think that many times when it's time to talk about mental health, when it's time to talk about emotional stuff, relationships, motherhood, being a Latina itself in this country, we kind of suppress those experiences and we feel like we have to deal with them on our own and that we have to be constantly strong and that we can't rely on others or our community. And so I think that this podcast is about saying, yes, you can use your Vicks para tu gripe, but this is a community for us to really relate about all of the things that come up as a Latina, as a Latina living in this country, as a Latina, as a mother, a wife, a girlfriend, a friend, our careers. Mm-hmm. There's just so many things that we just don't share or talk about. And we think that Vicks or suppressing those emotions or experiences is la cura.
Yeah. And you can suppress, listen, it's going to come up. It's going to come up. It's going to show up in your life. Doesn't matter what you suppress. You can try and try and try, but it's going to come up.
Yeah. So it's about normalizing it. It's time to normalize the experiences that we go through and to talk about them as a community.
Yeah.
And not cover it up with Vicks.
Right, like I tengo un dolor de cabeza and it's all the stressors, all the stress that's happening in your life. But let me put some Vicks on my forehead.
So yeah, I totally agree. And again, just being able to have awareness, people normalizing that these things occur and that there's ways to, just because we grew up this way doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right way all the time. There's things we can take from our experience and there's things that we can change because we know better. And we don't want to bring these beliefs and the way to carry emotions into like our children and their children into the future. So
that's why it's called generational trauma, because it's a cycle that keeps going and going and going until someone notices and it's like, holy shit,
let's stop it right now.
And now let me start building a new cycle of like, empowerment and love and healing.
and healing.
So
Yeah.
when people ask like, what is this podcast is about? We talk about all the things that Vicks can't cure.
And the
There
most
you go.
awesome thing is that we talk about our own personal experiences. So it's not just the que, oh, let's just talk about trauma, what? No, we talk about our personal trauma, like our struggles in,
Mhm.
with our family, with our parents, with school, and everything. Like it's very personal, and I think a lot of
Yeah.
people can relate to that too, and a lot of people enjoy it because it's so personal, but it's fun and we laugh and tú sabes,
Yes.
estamos aquí.
And estamos aquí, and like you said, a lot of people have the same kind of experience because we're not the only ones. Because when I talk to other people, they can relate. So why not, share these beautiful and not so beautiful moments with those that will enjoy this and say, you know what, maybe there's something I can take from this. They were able to do it. Why not? Why can I do this too? So
Yeah, definitely.
vamos a ver.
I'm excited. Ya tú
I'm
sabes.
excited. It's about seeing things differently in a different perspective. It's about allowing yourself to check in with yourself. Sometimes we need to do that, right? To check in with ourselves, to see how we are processing things, thinking about things, dealing with things. And then you hear one person going through what you're going through, and just hearing what they're doing to manage this could be helpful. This is how we create a community. And that's what we want.
I knew that there was something different, and there was something that I wanted to change in the way I was holding on to emotions and dealing with my emotions. And I'm like, this can't be okay. My heart, my chest, like what's going on? And all of a sudden, I don't like from one minute to another, I'm watching things that are different that makes me feel better. I'm doing things that are different with my body. I'm eating things that are different for my body. Ultimately, it's doing better things for my body. And you don't want to deal with things that feel icky and sticky and weird. Como que, ay, no, 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 no. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
It's fun too. It's going to be fun. It's,
yeah.
vamos a hablar de todo. Vamos a hablar de your parents, your Dominican mom,
Oh
your
yeah.
father, your
That's
sisters, la prima, la vecina,
Dominican
el
mom.
jefe,
That would take
los muchachos,
episodes como 10 episodes. Dominican mom part 9.
los muchachos, yourself, sex.
Yes.
What
Yes.
about, raising children and wanting to raise your children differently, because you know that even though you love your parents and they did the best that they could, it was not the best. We know that. But then dealing with the struggle of like having to explain to your parents why you're doing things differently, and them, not understanding, or haven't you realized like when you have kids and you're around your parents, the way that they treat your kids, and you look at them and you're like, who are you? And where were you like 40
What?
years ago?
No,
Right?
they get dementia. Yo. Oh, equivocada. Yo nunca te DH, Heidi, tú estás diciendo
Ese
eso de
niño,
mí.
llévalo suave, que tú sabes que llévalo. Where, what? Who? Hi, my name is Margaret. Who are you?
And what did you do to my mother?
Yes, absolutely. So that's it. That's what you have to let them know. That's what No Todo Se Cura con Vicks is all about.
And that's where the name came from.
Yes.
Porque Vicks te ayuda, dice que te ayuda con la gripe.
No, él te ayuda un chin con gripe, no con emociones.
No te va a quitar las emociones. Y
O
ese
el
dolor de
trauma.
cabeza no solamente el Vicks, eso es de todo. You cannot continue putting Vicks in your head forever.
Yes.
Bañándote en Vicks.
Yes.
Un baño de Vicks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, we can record. And I'll edit that
Espérate,
little
¿cómo
part.
se hace?
Ay,
Where
stop.
is it? Ah, míralo aquí.